the original Christian fundamentalist movement started in the early 1900s, and it was a reaction in part to the Industrial Revolution. Okay, because all of a sudden people were going from an agrarian economy to showing up in cities, coagulating in cities, and so forth. And there also became a type of literary criticism of the Bible, is what it was actually called. And they said, okay, some parts of the Bible are myth. Now, myth not meaning a falsehood, myth as in the way a society discusses its interaction with the unknown. The greater, that unknowable part that we all kind of feel has to exist somehow. And they're stories told about a way we interacted with God. And like some of the myths shows we are God's people in the Old Testament kind of thing. And people, of course, didn't like hearing the word myth put with the Bible. That just made them absolutely crazy. And some of it's poetry and some of it is historical, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so people went absolutely crazy and said, no, every single literal word in the Bible is right. And that became a Christian focus. And I think in a weird way, we're reestablishing that same focus now because of how much more the internet has connected us all and the beginnings of AI. And even the fact that we Google everything in the world now, we have a totally different lifestyle than we did 30 years ago. And I really believe that part of what we're seeing is all a sociological pushback and the fact that society changed so much so fast.
Yes, I wouldn't disagree because we're on a pendulum. Like most people talk about is we're on a pendulum of like reactionary politics in the
Oh,
U.S.
always.
And it is stupid. And one of those reactionary politics is what we've started calling is nationalist Christians or Nazis.
Right.
And so this is Nick Perro and Lisa Joy. For all of you who do know us, welcome. Good afternoon. We're talking about Nat-C deconstructionism and Dominionism in general, generalized topics for some of it. However, we are going to talk about a serious and very specific topic today, which is this morning the Find Out podcast had their morning episode released for Tuesdays and Thursdays. I like to listen to their podcast episode every Tuesday and Thursday. They do great stuff. They were part of the White Dudes for Harris, a bunch of them. I've interviewed two of the hosts on the show now as well, Tim Fullerton and Chris Goldsmith. Chris Goldsmith is a veteran and is a veteran advocate, and his job is actually titled Nazi Hunter. So he's pretty knowledgeable in what he does. And not like Nazi Hunter as in I'm going to go shoot Nazis. It's Nazi Hunter as in I'm going to go search out Nazis through open source and open searches, and I'm going to impose legal fees and legal consequences on them.
Oh, nice.
1 second.
You got to love the background on his stuff. I love those toys. That's so cool. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I actually was raised fundamentalist Christian. So in our quick break here, I'll let you know that little bit about me, and Nick is back. So we'll go back to the topic.
Sorry about that. Family and kids. And so Chris Goldsmith is a friend and veteran and advocate, and he put out this morning that there is a proposed policy change for the VA, and I'm going to read the summary of it because it really pisses me off, and I've spent the entire day talking about it, and I probably won't stop talking about it because the date for comments is only open until September 3rd. It's a public comment period on a federal document for a VA policy proposal change. And I really want to talk about it. So here's in full the summary. The Department of Veterans Affairs is proposing to reinstate the full exclusion on abortions and abortion counseling from the medical benefits package, which was removed in 2022. Before that time, this exclusion had been firmly in place since the medical benefits package was first established in 1999. VA is also proposing to reinstate the exclusion on abortion and abortion counseling in civilian health and medical program of the Department of Veterans Affairs, CHAMP VA, that were also removed in 2022. We take this action to ensure that VA provides only needed medical services to our nation's heroes and their families. I am going to drop the link to this.
I already did. Okay.
I'm going to drop it to the
Inspection.
comment section specifically for this.
Okay, good.
Everyone in this chat, please, if you have ever cared about a veteran, if you care about Lisa, if you care about my wife, if you care about any woman or any person, because women's rights in general are next, and men's rights, we're not far behind, bros. Like, if you think they're coming up, if they're not coming after you, they fucking are. Please go to the webpage that is linked, write a meaningful comment. This is a public comment section. We need to write meaningful comments every day on how this impacts you and someone you know, or as a veteran, some veteran you know, how it directly impacts them. I'm going to tell you how it impacts a veteran and their family. I will use an example. That example is fucking me. My wife is a veteran too. I'm a veteran. I don't have a job. I'm a disabled veteran. I get to use CHAMP VA because I'm disabled enough, which means my wife's health coverage goes through me if we get it through the CHAMP VA. Her other health coverage goes through the VA because, just like me, she's a disabled vet too, and that fucking happens. And that's all I'm going to talk about my wife. From this point on, I'm going to talk just about me because I value my wife's privacy.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to directly impact my family. It will. It will hurt my family. It will hurt Lisa's family. Not because she needs an abortion, but because she's a veteran and it's an attack on women's rights.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It is an attack, plain and simple, by Pete Hegseth on women's rights.
Oh.
He is the one who is at fault for this. He is the Secretary of Defense.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not think Pete Hegseth personally had a hand in this policy change to get it put back in place, if you don't believe that, then I have a couch to sell you. I have a fucking horse to sell you. I have a boat to sell you. If you value
I've got a bridge.
people, yeah, I got a bridge to sell you. I got the London Bridge to sell you. It's sitting in California. We'll fucking sell it to you. Like, the actual London Bridge
I thought it was in Arizona.
Yeah, well, it's on the border, whatever.
Okay.
It's just the same. But like, the women's rights are fully under attack at the moment.
Voting rights too.
It started with the trans people. It started with trans members being eliminated from having their retirement or their service count to have federal retirement. Now it's going to women. If you don't think the next step might be they're going to take women's VA benefits away too, or retirements away, I got another horse to sell you.
Well, they already cut all those trans people out of the military and took away their benefits when they did it. They took away all their retirement. They kicked them out and didn't let them choose early retirement like you do when you're involuntarily separated at that level. They kicked them all out and just said bye-bye, and they didn't get a dime.
Yeah. Yeah. They're directly attacking rights. They're attacking my family directly, more so than normal, because my family has been under direct attack uh, for a long time now. Because I'm a veteran. I mean, for the past 6.5 months, I didn't have health care because my VA doctor quit because of Doge. And now the VA would like to, or is going to, unless we put in public comments daily until the 3rd of September when they close public comments, and you put in a public comment that is meaningful, short and sweet and simple. Go to either the Banner and Backbone broadcast for Vet Talk today, go to my Vet Talk or my show this morning with Walter Ryan and Fred Pogue, or the Vet Talk on Banner and Backbone with Fred Pogue and Melissa Corrigan, or go to the Find Out podcast where we got the information from this morning from Chris Goldsmith. Go get to the link. We'll keep pasting it over and over again. Spread that link, share that link with every single person that you know, or somebody, at least somebody. Give it to somebody. I'm giving it to all of you as my first go around. Like, here you go. Here's the link. We'll put it in all the show notes. We're talking about this partially because it attacks half the population of this country directly. It also attacks the other half of this population because if you have a woman in your life and let's say her abortion act, let's say she happens to get raped. Say your wife gets raped and she's on Champ VA and she no longer has access to healthcare. Or imagine in a couple months when they decide that women just don't need reproductive health care services anymore like this, and your daughter gets attacked and she can't have an abortion and she's dying. Or she has a miscarriage and she can't get a D&C because that's a medical abortion and she's dying because of a fucking miscarriage. Or as Melissa Corrigan pointed out this afternoon or earlier today, what happens if she has a successful birth and would need to have a D&C to successfully clean out her uterus and her cervix and ensure that she is safe and healthy, and she can't get that because D&Cs are medical abortions and you can't get those anymore? What happens when she dies? Is she better off? Is your family fucking better off because of that?
I have another horror story idea that I lived. If you can't afford a good anesthetic for abortion and you don't react to the local and they've started it, they keep going. And you get to feel it every single minute of it. And if you have less funds, that means you can't afford as much and you're more likely to have to go through that. I know because I did.
So, Lisa, I'm sorry. Thank you for sharing that with us.
So that's another thing you have to be afraid of. Really.
Please go to the link and share it. Please go to the link and share it and get everybody to sign it. You know how this impacts a veteran. You you you're listening to two of them right now tell you how it impacts you, how it impacts them, and how it impacts veterans. Say that, remind them, write a meaningful public comment every day until the end of the public comment period.
And then hope they actually read them.
And why are we talking about this? Because Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of Defense. And Pete Hegseth is a nationalist Christian who believes that women should not serve in any role other than homemaker and vessel for a child.
Mm-hmm. And really, as far as they're concerned, that is all women are for. I was reading somebody's history where they, as soon as they became pregnant, they were literally nothing more than the person growing the baby, and the baby's rights always were ahead of theirs. I've read other things where people have needed health care, or better yet, wanted a hysterectomy because of severe reproductive issues and been refused any surgery because that would affect their ability to reproduce. And if they were single, they were told that they needed their future husband's permission to get a hysterectomy. And that's going on before these laws. There is a really seriously twisted version of what women are for out there. And when it comes to women's medical care, before this got ugly, women's pain was less managed. Women weren't allowed to end their ability to carry children. I mean, I had something called adenomyosis, which is like endometriosis, except it goes inside the fibers of your uterus, actually. And so it falls up and continually sheds inside of the muscle tissue itself. And it creates very, very severe pain and severe bleeding and everything else. And they, had to save my ability to have babies till I was at least 35.
Yep. Because the only thing that women are good for is babies. That's what they keep saying. That's what they keep saying, and I don't believe it, because I've seen women in real life, and they're more than just like baby making machines. Like, I know women. Like, why do we talk about this though? Is because it's Pete Hegseth's search and his belief system that he has.
And it's the belief system of so much that's running along behind this, actually.
And
that's
it's the
why
beliefs,
I keep insisting that we can't say, okay, as soon as Trump is gone, everything's over.
Oh,
because
no.
these people have been building this and are still building this in the background, even though Trump's there and he's their useful idiot. I'm sorry, but he is. Those people have been working to have this in place for over 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not a new thing. This is just them slowly accruing power, slowly getting everything they can. And they have a whole bunch of 501c3 corporations to handle different parts of media, different parts of social media. This is a major undertaking for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a real goal here, and it's actually to get rid of our country as we know it.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. And we need to be very, very forward about what steps need to be taken this very moment.
Right.
Which, in this case, what we're talking about, you can peacefully and patriotically do something as a citizen. This is one of those moments where everybody keeps going, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Well, here's something you can do. Go to this link and write a meaningful comment on this public comment forum to tell the VA to not change their policy on abortion services for veterans and for CHAMP VA recipients, because it will hurt veterans. Period. because women are people and women are veterans, thus veterans. I'm done like trying to qualify like that this is going to hurt female veterans or it's going to hurt female Americans. It's going to hurt all of us. All of us. It doesn't hurt just one group. Fascism isn't like that. That's and if you don't think we're living in fascism yet, you're either in a red state or you're in a state of red hat. Like you either live with a red hat on or you live in a red state. Like it doesn't feel fascistic all the time here in Arkansas, but it is because
Yeah.
we've been living under it a lot longer and they just call it Sarah Huckabee Sanders. But it's all the same.
Yeah.
Like they're hurting veterans, they're hurting Americans. I will, for anyone in the chat, just to repeat again, it's going to be in the show notes. I'm going to make sure the link is in the show notes also, so that everybody can access this information, and everybody can link to link to the comment. It goes directly to the comment site. And so
Yeah, you have to cut and paste.
please write a meaningful message every day. Lisa, go ahead.
Okay. Now, I want us to, keep putting the link in here, but I know that you and I had a discussion about the flag, and I know many people are very triggered when it's burned. Trump recently did an executive order making it illegal with a 1-year prison sentence. And I don't know if there's a fine involved too, but I know there's a 1-year prison sentence for it. And as soon as he did that, to protest that, a veteran burned a flag in front of the White House.
Which is a
They have been
go ahead.
arrested for this.
Some bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Because even if we don't approve of it, there's a right to free speech. And it's like me getting attacked by veterans for having mine upside down in a protest.
Mm-hmm.
Especially coming from the Navy, we're told, hey, if your ship's in distress, upside down. We were taught that. And so I carry my flag upside down in protests. And I'm one of only 2 people I've seen so far locally that do that. And I know that offends some people. And I really don't believe in letting the flag touch the ground, let alone setting it on fire, unless it is actually to dispose of it, because it is supposed to be the prescribed way to dispose of an old flag. It's to burn it. So I don't necessarily, but yeah. So now we have a veteran that has been arrested for free speech. They're a U.S. citizen, and they were arrested for free speech. And I'm pretty sure they did it just to get arrested because they didn't want to let it stand.
Mm-hmm. No, and I'm glad that veteran said something.
Yeah.
And did something because it is a protest. That being said, and I'm going to say this as another veteran, is please don't go do that. Please don't go start burning American flags, because that's also what the regressive Republicans want us to do. They want to see people who they can claim to be left wing burning flags. They want to see us stomping on flags. They want to see us burning the flag. They want to see me tear the flag down behind me in protests and scream and yell and rip it apart or cut it. Well, fuck that. It's not their symbol. It's my fucking symbol. I went to combat. I get to fly this flag whenever the fuck I want. And just like Lisa, I'm never going to let it touch the ground. But if it needs to be burned because it is being retired or it has been desecrated, and the prescribed way to burn, to discard of and dispose of a desecrated or retired flag is by folding and burning it. Like,
Right.
there are methods to doing it. You're supposed to do it right. There's a whole code of honor, and maybe one of these days soon we'll read it. I do a civics-based channel, so I'll just read one of the things I do on Banner and Backbone is civics stuff. So maybe I'll just read flag code. Um, I just, I'm so sick and tired of being told how to feel by right-wing people. I'm sick and tired of having conversations framed in right-wing mindsets.
Mhm.
I believe that it is entirely beyond time that we said things meaningfully and using the right words.
Mhm.
Is the reproductive health services policy that Pete Hegseth is championing because he is the Secretary of Defense, and Doug Collins is championing because he is the director of the VA, or the Department of Veterans Affairs, to hurt women and to hurt veterans through hurting women, to deny women access to care, to discriminate against females and women and those who are able to have children or have an
Mhm.
abortion in a way, be you transgender, be you cisgender, be you any. If you're a female in some way and you can have an abortion, this impacts you. If you're a male, this also fucking impacts you. Like, stop pretending that doesn't. Stop pretending women's health issues don't impact you too, men, because they do. Because they have real world consequences if you fucking knock some girl up or some woman up.
Yep.
There's real fucking world consequences to those. And if you're a man, you live up to those real world consequences. But you don't want to be men. You want to be fucking boys forever. Adrian, you said it in the chat, and I'm only going to disagree because I find it offensive to teenage girls, is they're not acting like teenage girls. They're acting like fucking teenage to toddler boys. Like, they're acting like boys who have never heard the word no, or who think they've never heard the word no, or who don't want to ever pretend like they hear the word no. I'm tired of associating the behavior of these men with women, because women actually are powerful and smart more often than not. And yeah, their balls haven't dropped. I call Pete Hegseth a taint all the time because he's a disgusting human being. And I really hope someone steps on him. And if you don't know what a taint is, it's that little part of skin that's on your scrotum between your penis and your butthole. And it gets covered in shit sometimes if you don't know how to wipe. And these are the types of people who are afraid to wipe their asses because they're afraid their finger will go into their butt and they might become gay because of it. And if you think that's a fake end to that statement, I've heard that before from
it,
people. That's real. Like, they're afraid of shit like that.
the teenage girl thing, I have been pondering the two gender way we've been raised, especially when you were my age,
Mm-hmm.
and how we have these automatic girl attributes and boy attributes. And I often wonder if we had a world where we didn't ascribe boys are always this way, girls are always that way, if we'd have a much different looking society entirely. If if having a nurturing personality wasn't suddenly feminine, but just a personality trait, no matter what you are, all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden it's not a girly thing to do. If working on cars wasn't supposedly a boy thing to do. I mean, I've replaced alternators and belts, and I know how to rebuild a
Mm-hmm.
automatic transmission, and I'm a girl. It's like if
Well, I'd argue you're a woman.
okay, but I'm female. It's not a male thing to be able to work on
No,
and
it's
into.
not. It's
And
not.
and we have these stereotypes. In fact, I caught myself because my son paints his fingernails, and he paints them like 5 different colors even sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he's more of a girl than I am. And I'm like, Lisa, that's horrible. You're sitting there and creating this gender stereotype yourself. And it's so lived in this moment that it's so hard for me to. So I've been constantly correcting myself. Anytime I say that is a girl thing, that's a boy thing, I stop and go, no, that's a human thing. And it's going to take me a while. But I want to create a world where we don't have these gender stereotypes at all because, if a boy wants to twirl around in a skirt because he likes the way it swishes when he spins,
Just go for it. The Scottish people do it all the time. They just call it kilts.
I know.
Like, get over it, guys. Like,
yeah,
the
exactly.
men in the Middle East wear long shirts that we would consider to be dresses.
Yep.
Like, what? I mean, come on, guys. It's really just European American culture. Like, it's white American culture that's afraid of the idea that men can have masculinity in non caveman macho masculinity. Like, men, I hate to break it to you, but high heels were invented because of men.
Yes, they were. They were
Wigs,
invented for horse riding, actually.
wigs were invented for men.
For men.
Perfume was invented for men. Makeup was invented for men. Fingernail polish was invented for men. Plastic surgery was invented for male service members upon returning from World War II for horrific war scars and wounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's where plastic surgery was pioneered for men. Like, all of the feminine products that we pretend are feminine, like, I hate to break it to y'all, like, those are men's products. We just put a Kilo, stop. Somebody's at the door. It's okay. Like, hey, people decided like we needed to put a tax on products and call them feminine so that we could make more money. All it is capitalism. The sky. But in the end, it's also the real issue right now is Pete Hegseth is a nationalist Christian, or a Nat-C is a nationalist Christian at the head of our Department of Defense, who has removed every woman and woman of color on top of it, and pretty much every person of color in general, from a leadership position in the military. Every general, I think 4-star general, I think, or 3-star even, maybe, I don't remember exactly, has to be personally screened by Donald Trump, every new one. And they are attacking women's veterans' rights and taking away reporting services for assault and abuse and attack. They are not going to allow you to have an abortion. So if you get assaulted or abused while you're on base and now you're pregnant, guess what? They have an excuse to kick your ass out because no abortions are available. And maybe you were in the height of your career and you are not able to have a baby. Or you were just viciously assaulted and now you can no longer have a child. And that right and that ability was taken away from you. Like, Pete Hegseth wants that. He wants a white Christian crusaders army, like a fake crusaders, like what we see in the movies, what the exaggerated white crusaders look like, not what the military really is. The military is a pluralistic group of people in this country. It is the largest DEI organization in the world. And women have been a part of it since the beginning. And I'm so tired of these so-called Christians who take Christianity and use it as a cudgel to attack my wife, my daughter, me, everybody, because, like, if you can't see that it impacts you, you're blind, or you're willfully ignorant, which is just as bad, if not worse. Like, I don't know.
before
I
we
give up
started
on
this,
some of these folks.
and I don't know if you've noticed these changes or not. The VA, well, let's see, they took down LGBTQ flags; they were banned. They also set a policy in April, and it was against any anti-Christian behavior biases, and it's for any informal policies, procedures, unofficial understandings hostile to Christian views, and included things like having to treat LGBTQ people.
Yep.
And that was in April. Birth control medication, all those things you were told you just had to do it because you were a government employee, and now you can have a religious exemption. And any mistreatment or reprimand because of a response to display of Christian imagery or symbols is also something that you can report and complain about. So they're putting Christian values ahead of everyone else in the Veterans Affairs right now.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that,
and not even really Christian values. Like
well,
those
Christian
aren't
whining?
those aren't even really Christian
No,
values.
they
Like,
aren't. Not
please
truly.
quote to me where in the Bible Jesus says, go get an abortion.
Or
I mean,
say,
I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. They actually teach you how, like, as part of the faith, they teach you how to perform an abortion, and that up until the point of birth, the mother's life is more important because it is at birth that you are granted your soul and that you become alive in the Jewish faith. So don't tell me I can't have my family can't have an abortion. We're
right.
Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you? How dare you take away
Mm-hmm.
my right? Like,
Right.
you've already taken it away in being in Arkansas, like, and my right for my daughter to have access to healthcare, or my
Mm-hmm.
wife. But how dare you tell me as a Jewish person that I shouldn't be able to practice my faith fully? How dare you? Your faith came from mine. Your faith is a child of my faith.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's not even my faith. Your faith is a child of my heritage. Get the fuck out of here. Like, shut the fuck up about your faith. It's not that important. You're not that cool, bro. Like, there's what, 3,000 some odd other religions on this planet. Yours isn't the one that's right.
Unless you're, of course, one of the true believers of that religion, because it assures you that it's the only way to be right, which
Yeah.
is a big part of the problem. Because I even Googled, because I wanted a really good reason for why enacting Christian values across the country is so necessary. And pretty much the answer is because they believe that it is the right values to have, so they get to tell everyone else what to do. And that's just ridiculous. We're a secular society. We may have been more likely to be quiet if we weren't Christian at one point, mostly because people were so rude to people that weren't Christian at one point. And it's one of those things where, just like with the fact that white people will become a plurality instead of the majority in like the next 10, 15 years, part of the reason they're getting rid of so many immigrants is because they want more white people here. They don't want to become the minority, mostly because they're afraid, because they've treated so many people like shit over the years, that once people can vote in people that are closer to their colors, if we're not a majority, they might get mistreated. And as someone who didn't mistreat anybody, that makes me a little sad for myself. But, after what other white Europeans have done in this country, I can see a justification for it. I hate to say that, but my goodness. The truth is, if we were a civilized people, which we don't seem to be, but if we were a civilized people, we would honor everybody. We would allow everyone to practice their faith to a point where it doesn't hurt someone else. I mean, this is just normal adult behavior. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. This is what you should have been taught in kindergarten.
Yeah.
You
Do unto
respect other
others
people's
as you want
faith.
done unto yourself.
Right.
Like, if you're Christian, right? Like, that's the golden rule. I was taught that that's part of the Judeo-Christian Islamic value
Mm-hmm.
system. And I'm going to include Islam in there because they've had some pretty shitty stuff too. But
Right.
they're not the ones who are where I'm at, like a disagreement with at the moment directly, like in
Right.
this moment directly. Like people are going to come at us in a video, like if they were to clip this little section and they'd be like, oh look, see, he doesn't care about the Islam and the Muslims being oppressed and those people being genocide, or the Palestinians being genocided by the Jews. Guess what? I do fucking care.
I
I
do
care
too.
that the Palestinians are being genocided by the Jews. And in
I
fact, I
know.
wish they would fucking stop. I wish that Netanyahu would fucking stop, because he's putting a target on me and
Mhm.
my family, and he's putting a target on everybody else who's Jewish in America. And I don't fucking appreciate that, asshole. You're speaking for the rest of us, or you claim to. Get the fuck out of here. Seriously, like stop speaking for the Jewish faith. You are not Jewish. You're a Nazi. You, sir, Bibi Netanyahu, are a Nazi. You're a fuckhead and a Nazi, and you're genociding the Palestinians. And I cannot give any more energy than that right now towards the Palestinians, unfortunately, because fascism is in America too.
Mhm.
So, uh, like, let's fix ourselves, because if we fix ourselves, we can then help fix everybody else. Stop
Right.
doing the excuse of, oh, but we can't help these people. Oh, okay, we can't. Why cripple ourselves in saying we can't help them right now?
Right.
But we could if we maybe got our shit together and
Mhm.
fucking did something. So let's, I just want to make that, I know people in our audience wouldn't do that, but people afterwards will come at me at some point, and I'm going to defend myself up front right now, is we also need to just stop framing things in right-wing context and talk about it openly and explicitly. Is I'm Jewish. I am culturally Jewish. I do not practice the Jewish faith. I'm I'm agnostic. But I'm culturally Jewish, and our cultural belief system is that women can have an abortion because life does not begin until birth. And how dare you, US government, tell me I am not allowed to practice the fullest extent of my faith in such a simple way that does not harm somebody. Yet
Mhm.
you get to tell us you're Christian. Well, Christians are Jews with a savior. So get over yourselves. You're just Jews with your savior. Jesus was a Jew too. He practiced Jewish traditions and faiths and beliefs. He was Jewish too. And I understand like the fundamentals of what we're talking about, all of this Dominionism and Deconstructionism of the Nazis that we're talking about is they are attacking Jewish people on purpose, and you are hurting my faith system and women in my faith system and families in my faith system and cultural system by telling us that we cannot practice our faiths. How fucking dare you,
Mhm.
US? You guys didn't let Anne Frank in the first
Mhm.
go around. What the fuck is your problem this time?
Yeah, we sent the St. Louis back. Everyone did, pretty much, and then
Mhm.
most of them died in concentration camps.
Yeah.
And now we're getting rid of all of the refugees that are here. Trump literally just wrote executive orders ending all of their
Fuck him.
protections. And
Executive orders don't mean shit. Like
well, no, but
I wish the
well,
right wing, the media needs to stop talking. Executive orders, not you. Executive orders
no, no.
are just
Um,
his words saying, "I order this to happen at some point. Please carry this out."
unfortunately, since immigration is under the executive branch, they do have a little more meaning under that because he gets to tell them how to enact the policies that are there.
Correct, as
unfortunately,
long as it does not go against
the
established
laws.
law.
Right. And
If it's
unfortunately, a
if
lot of the
it's
stuff, we've had such a messed up immigration system for so
Mhm.
long, a lot of it has been patchwork by executive orders and so forth,
Yeah,
and
it's
just let
almost
it
like
happen.
there was last year a bill proposed out of the Senate by Oklahoma Senator Langford, and and correct me if I'm wrong, but every district in Oklahoma voted for Trump in the last two elections, or three, I believe. And Langford is a very conservative Republican himself.
Hmm.
And I know I'm not wrong because there are neighbors too. Just like Lisa, there are neighbors, those people in those folks in Oklahoma that sometimes we don't talk about.
Oklahoma is sometimes worse than Arkansas, to be honest.
Oh, it's a lot worse than Arkansas.
Their superintendent of schools is a disaster.
Yeah, well, we need to talk about Ryan Walters.
Yeah, we
There's a
do.
lot of problems there. Um, but Senator Langford out of Oklahoma worked with Democrats last year to create a bipartisan bill that would have been a uh, border enforcement bill and actually would have properly funded like actual enforcement policies as well as lawyers and other things. And do you remember how Donald Trump said, kill the bill? And they did, and we didn't have meaningful border change enacted, and now we have this
Mhm.
going on. It's almost
Right.
like it's all coordinated and in conjunction with each other, and they never wanted any of it to pass so that they could have
So they could
this
have this.
unlimited
Yep.
ICE budget and the
It
Gestapo
was all on
and Pete
purpose.
Hegseth and ICE under Kristi Noem. It's all on purpose. It's all Project 2025, which is all the Heritage Foundation plus worse. It's 40 years of research and time and energy that they have put in, and we need to stop it in a year.
Yes.
Less, and I said this on a show with uh, Melissa Corrigan and Fred Pogue earlier, is I believe, and I have no knowledge behind it, but I believe that in just based on the escalation of force and things that are going on in the country right now, is that within the next 60 to 90 days, a false flag event will happen because some right wing Yahoo will shoot at a National Guards member somewhere and incite violence.
And we'll go to martial law.
No, I don't care about martial law. Martial law is stupid. Do you know martial law actually just means that they are allowed to enforce civilian law? It does not mean they are allowed to enforce anything else.
Well, they're
Like
allowed to put they put
that's
in
literally all
curfews for
martial
everything
law
else
is.
usually with it.
Yeah, but the civilian police force can already
Yeah.
enforce a curfew,
They
so
usually
that's
they
not
usually
even really that's not even really a different power, but it just falls under the military and it's a lot scarier. Um, what we need to be more like, the military is going to be politicized more and more and more and more and more every single day. Part of that is the VA topic that we're talking about, is they want to hurt women by not allowing women to have reproductive services through VA-based care, such as Champ VA, which is a cost-sharing service that the most disabled of us veterans get access to. It is not a common service for veterans. Yet they want to take it away from us. They want to take it away from our families. Most people who have Champ VA are around 90 to 100% disabled on the disability list, which means you're permanently and totally disabled more often than not. And they just told a lot of people who are permanently and totally disabled, who maybe their spouse is their caretaker and cannot work another full-time job, and the only thing they can do is care for their spouse, and the only money that they get is 100% disability VA, uh, a dependence check, and a $1,500 caretaker check. And you just told that woman, or let's say, I'm assuming husband and wife, and one of them is female. husband and wife, let's just assume one is female in that relationship. Maybe even both are veterans. But if one of them has CHAMP VA and they're on it, it's a cost-sharing program which allows you to go to the doctor's office outside of the VA for a cost, but a lot less. Now, if one of you get pregnant and has a miscarriage and she needs a DNC, she will not be able to get that life-saving treatment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And CHAMP VA is for disabled veterans, for not 50, not 30, not 20%. These are for disabled veterans who are having a harder time, who are often on fixed incomes. And now you're telling them that maybe they have to have a baby. And these are post 9/11 veterans. We're not talking Vietnam veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, like, talking people my age. I'm talking veterans my age. Talking veterans younger than me. I'm talking a little bit older. People who are still in the ages where having children would be a thing, would be a concept. And if you don't think veterans don't want to have sex with their spouse, even if they're disabled, then you're fucking stupid and you're living under a rock. Like, people want to have sex. And sometimes when you have sex, you get pregnant. And when you get pregnant,
even when you don't try,
often when you try the least, you get pregnant.
Yep.
And then when that happens, you cannot be unpregnant with this in any way. If you get sick, if the fetus dies and you have a miscarriage, if something happens and you need an abortion, if you have a healthy birth and you still need a DNC afterwards, the life-saving treatment, can't get that. Sorry. Again, and if you have daughters, I have a daughter. If you're a dad with a daughter and you're in this crowd and you're not ready to sign this public comment for trying to save reproductive health services for veterans and those who are on CHAMP VA services. If you don't want to sign this document, then you may as well unsubscribe from me at this point. This attacks my family. This attacks multiple families that I know. This is going to hurt people. This is going to kill people too. Like, the idea of not having healthcare correctly for veterans who could be in an unstable place, that could be really damaging to someone's psyche. Please, please, please add some comments. Do the comment thing. This is a comment on a government regulation change that they want to put in to the VA healthcare. So add a meaningful comment. You have 4,000 characters or 5,000 characters. I'm looking at it right now. Write something, copy it, save it for tomorrow, make a small variation of that, and then post it tomorrow. And then do the same thing and post it the day after. It's only open until the 3rd of September. But do it every day, because the more comments we get, the better. Because if you don't say something now, when are you going to say it? When your rights are gone? Because it's going to be too fucking late by then.
Yeah. And they want a world where, I mean, I don't know if you've heard this, but they actually will talk about stoning. They don't, not just trans people, but even people who do drag. As far as they're concerned, I put myself, unfortunately, into a very triggered moment. It's a pastor that's related to the pastor of Kegseth's church. I didn't say that on purpose. No. Anyhow, Hegseth, now I'm saying it right. I went onto what used to be Twitter, and they were talking about killing gay people, killing trans people. They said that wearing the opposite gender's clothing was a worse sin than anything except for being gay, and that both of those should be dealt with death. And I actually commented, and of course didn't get comment back, and said, so wearing a set of jeans as a woman, is that more sinful than killing a child? Like, exactly how damaging is it to the world if I dress like a man for a day? Seriously.
And what does it mean to dress like a man? Like,
I
because high
know, we already
heels
had
are
that
for men.
discussion, didn't
Because
we?
high heels are for men, right? They were originally for us. Those are our shoes. Nail polish and makeup is for men. So aren't women being more manly right now
Oh,
than men
dude.
are by
Yeah,
wearing
kill all the
all
women,
those?
then he's gonna have babies.
Yeah, what are we gonna do, men? You gonna stone ourselves?
Yeah,
Stone each other? Because ain't nobody ever talk about stoning men. It's only ever stone the women, stone the girls, stone the kids, stone the
that's
stranger, but never stone the man who did the action.
well, I will be honest, the first pastor who really started preaching that you had to follow the Old Testament instead, one of his big points was that a man could not commit adultery unless he slept with another man's wife. If he slept with a woman who was not attached, even though he was married, officially, he was not sinful. And he said the only problem was that this country didn't let him marry that woman and that she committed harlotry no matter what. And that, if she was raped and if she was raped and it was where she couldn't be heard, she was innocent. But if she was where she could be heard, she was guilty and all these other things. And it's all about the women are the problem.
Mhm,
In fact, that's why the woman caught in adultery, they brought the woman to stone to Jesus, and they didn't bring the man that was with her.
mhm.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
And that's what these
and
people are actually focusing. That's what they want our country to be like now.
yeah, yeah, they want our country to hate women, to treat women. There was a legislator, I think it was Georgia maybe, who let it slip,
Mm,
or Florida who let it slip, Republican legislator that said women are basically vessels for babies, and that's it. Like that's all you're good for. That is it. You're a vessel, which is
mhm,
very Handmaid's Tale-y.
mhm,
Which, by the way, Handmaid's Tale is based off of these groups. Like it's not based out of fiction. Or fantasy. It is a historical fiction, or it's a future fiction.
mhm.
Um,
It's a dystopian future.
because it's a dystopian future based on Christian nationalism and national Christians, nationalist Christians, as we call them, Nazis. They want to have women as vessels. That's it.
That's all we're for.
They want Sarahs and Jezebels. They want you to be a vessel, and a vessel only if you have the parts to do it. If you
Yeah.
can birth a child, all you are to them is a vessel of birth. And it don't matter if you live through the birth. They proved that
Mm-mm.
already.
Yeah.
They proved that already. And now they're taking the right of female veterans to have access to abortion services, and our families and females in our families, not just veterans, but Champ VA is for our families. So let's say you have a daughter and they get attacked and raped and have a miscarriage and it's life or death. You cannot have a DNC, your daughter cannot get a DNC to survive. Your daughter is going to die. That's what this means. That is what they want. That is what this means. That is what this policy is, and it is attacking the most vulnerable among us in the VA community. in the veterans community, the most vulnerable, because if you're on Champ VA, you're probably on a fixed income.
My income's even more fixed than the one you described. I only get $1,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Don't ask me how I know what it looks like to be on a fixed income for being a disabled veteran without another job. I can't tell you how that feels.
I'm sure.
Or about how applying for Champ VA feels.
Or the other
mm-hmm.
wonderful things you get through over time.
So, one, thank you everyone for coming. We just hit the top of the hour. That was a perfect set, almost a perfect timing without on purpose, to be at the top of the hour. But what I want to leave off with is two things, at least for me. And then Lisa, I want to give you some time because I've monologued a lot in this, but I have so many feels. And I'm so mad. And I know you have so many feels about what are going on.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I think men need to really, really, really be anti this crap.
Right.
Which means as much as I don't want to feel like I'm taking over conversations, I feel like I need to say something now, because if I don't, what is my daughter gonna say? Like,
right.
Seriously, like literally, what is my daughter gonna look at me and say, oh, you couldn't even say something for me? Like, do you actually love me?
Right.
That's what your daughter is going to think. You don't say something. If you don't sign the petition that we will link in the chat or in the post log show notes for this, we will link it's regulations.gov. So it is a government website. It is a public link, public comment on for the reproductive health services policy change. Tell them you would like them to not change the policy. You want the policy to stay what it is, because that policy protects the access to abortion right now. They want to change it back, to remove it. Tell them we like it the way it is. We very much do, because it protects our veterans, their children, and a veteran that you can say would personally impact if they change this policy. So I'm spreading a story that is true. I'm spreading a little bit of my information in this way and my story, because it's true that this policy change will directly impact a veteran. This guy, and it's not okay.
Right.
And you need to also say something too, please. Like, it cannot be the two of us, like everybody else in this chat, who's here in this live. I'll drop the link right now. If you're here in this live, go click on it. You have 5,000 words to get your feels out.
Nice.
I would recommend using less than that. Use succinct language, be direct, keep it soldier simple was the phrase, or keep it sailor simple, or keep it stupid simple. Keep it as simple as you fucking can.
Stupid.
Yeah, or keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, or keep it semper simple.
There we go.
Which means keep it straightforward and simple. I just tell them directly that either as a personal or from a professional standpoint, that this will impact you or someone and that this breaks a promise that was guaranteed to veterans and to us as post 9/11, as Vietnam, as Desert Storm, as World War II vets who are still alive, that reproductive healthcare services is a right that we were promised by the government, and they're taking it away from us and our families. And if they take it away from us, we're a protected class that's supposed to have a special status in this country. If they take it from us, you are next. And so I have two asks. Go sign that petition, or do a public comment daily if you can. And by if you can, I mean make time to do it. Just copy pasta what you're going to put today. Do it. Make a slight variation of the similar story. Make it slight variations on a theme. Don't copy pasta directly because then you look like a bot and a troll. Do it every day until the third when you cannot do it anymore. When that is done, continue to speak out because they're going to keep trying to do it. So, Lisa. Oh, and then the second one is support both Lisa and I. Like become free or please paid subscribers. We can both use them. And it helps us a lot. I mean, you guys have at this point should have figured out I'm on a fixed income of VA disability for some things, and I could use the love and the paid subscribes. And a founding member if anybody wants. Founding members are greatly appreciated. You get an annual poem and a podcast and credit on all the episodes if you would like, or show notes. But I also want to encourage, please go become a paid subscriber to Lisa too, because she deserves it. She's putting good work out. And I enjoy coming on these conversations with her every Tuesday and Thursday. And she's on every day, too, with others and other great creators in our community. And so go subscribe, free and paid to her too. Do both. Do all the things. So Lisa, I'll hand it over to you today.
Well, thank you for doing this with me. Nick volunteered the first time I started this, and I do a nightly porch. I call it bedtime on the porch, and I just sit on my porch swing and talk forever, and it goes all over the place. We also do writer's prompts, and we share stuff we've written, and I do porch thoughts about 4 times a week, which are nothing more than commentary on maybe something in current events, plus encouragement to keep trying. I know it gets hard to hear all the bad stuff all the time. I know you get burnout on the headlines. If you get burned out, take a step back a day or two and then come back and realize we are not in this for a short haul. This is going to be getting everyone out of office. And then we're going to have a lot of repair work to do. And we're going to also have to build a future that takes into account what AI might do, and so many other changes in our world. If you can afford to subscribe to me monthly, that's even better because then I get a little trickle monthly instead of, if you can't do an annual. And if you can't subscribe for pay, subscribe anyhow to at least keep up with me on free. It's no big deal to me. I mean, it'd be nice to have more money. $1,500 isn't much to get on with, but I understand everybody's struggling. So I have not put anything behind a paywall yet. And I have a few founder subscribers, and I always offer to do a pet portrait for them. And so far, no one's taken me up on it. So
that's
I love actually, Ollie.
Louise, I would love to go on Waj or Allison Gill and talk with them. We're actually part of Banner and Backbone, my other publication, which is our civics-based one with Fred Pogan, Lawrence Winterman. We're reaching out to Allison Gill. And I think maybe we're going to continue to reach out to her. And if we could get Allison on a show, that would be absolutely, especially one of our vet talks would absolutely be vitally important, pretty much right now. Lisa, thank you for coming on and talking with me as always. I appreciate you. Please, everyone, like I said, go to the link that I'm going to include in our show notes. Leave a comment every day. Tell them that you do not want this policy changed. And we'll be back PM Central Time on Thursday. So thank you, Lisa. And
thank you.
Everyone have a great night.
Bye-bye.